Hey friends, Mindy here. I am going to create some ephemera today for a junk journal that I just created. I will link that video down below. I had all of these little pieces of paper just that were left over from when I was tearing the pages down. And so I thought I would just make use of them by creating some little journaling tags and cards for my junk journal that I made. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I have a sheet of 8.5 by 11 craft cardstock. I'm going to use that as my base. And I have just pulled out all of my little strips from where I had torn those other pages down. And now I'm just looking around for things that are kind of around my desk that I can use. I have some dictionary pages and some other things, and I'm going to start building a Collage Master board. So I have this vintage ledger. This was really kind of fragile. You can see I tore it a little bit, but that's not a problem. I can fix that. And I'm going to just start gluing everything down just kind of randomly on my page here. Again, I'm using this craft cardstock as my background that will make my journaling cards nice and sturdy. So some of these I'm just tearing I'm trying to keep them, square-ish or rectangle-ish. They're not all that way, but I had this sitting on my desk as well. This is just some lined paper. This actually came out of a different journal and I didn't use it, so I'm going to use it here. Just gluing that down randomly. This is actually some book text that I had. I believe it's dictionary pages that I had swiped some excess ink, like distress ink or something. And so I just saved that because it works great for things like this. It just automatically gives it some dimension and interest, and I am just tearing it down, and then I will use all of this paper that has the color on it on my master board here. I'm trying to keep within a certain color scheme so that what I'm creating matches my journal. And so I'm just going to use the sections of this that have like that ink on there. It's probably like vintage photo or something like that, distress ink. And then I am gluing everything down. I'm actually using a Yoo-hoo glue stick for this instead of Collage Medium. I didn't want to have to deal with the dry time and everything for Collage Medium. This will work just as well. And if I decide down the road with the individual pieces, I can always add Collage Medium over the top to seal them if I want to do that. So I'm going to kind of keep them simple. That way I can actually decorate them some more and create focal points and stuff down the road. This is some leftover paper from By the Well for God. Most of these pages actually came from my subscription kit to Ahouseofbooks. I will link my affiliate link for both of those places down below in case you're interested. And not much is different here. I'm just adding just different layers, different sizes and shapes, making sure I'm going over the seams. I don't want anything to be like too parallel. And then just gluing everything down with this glue stick. And then I'm just using my ruler to kind of tear things down and trying to not to make you watch the whole thing, but I am adding some different kinds. I have some page from a hymnal. I also have some actual like score music. This is some vintage music from like a piano book for Mozart or something that I have that a sweet friend gave to me. And so I'm just kind of trying not to think too much about any of this. On some of the papers that have a lot of like white space, open space, I'm trying to trim that down. But for the most part, I'm really trying not to think too much about what I'm doing. Just making sure that I have papers going in different directions and covering up the spaces. You'll see I actually leave this one little space kind of in the middle, and I will come back and fix that. But this actually was some collage fodder from the Artist Almanac calendar, and I just it was sitting on my desk and it was just the right color, and so I just tore it down and added that on there because I do want a little bit of color on here, some little pops of color. And I'm just using, again, this is some vintage ledger. I really love this one. It's like a tannish brown color. And then I'm going to just finish filling up this entire paper, except for that one little square right in the middle. And then there was a little bit that kind of was hanging off the edge here, so I'm just going to trim that down really quickly. And then I want to add even a little bit more color. So I have these rub-ons. These are from 49 in Market. And I am just going to use these in the background. I didn't want to deal with, again, a lot of paint. I was getting ready to go to leave for a retreat. And so I had this journal that I created to take with me, and then I had all these papers, and I thought, well, let me just do something with them really quick. And so I just didn't want to have to deal with the wait time of, waiting for paint to dry or anything like that. So this is another quick way that you can get that kind of mixed media look to your stuff without having to get out all of the mixed media things. A lot of the stuff I had already packed, and so I was really just trying to use what I had. And this actually, the color scheme for these rub-ons was just perfect for my journal. So you can see I'm just using a little tool that is included when you buy the rub-ons, and I'm just burnishing over the rub-on. And then I realized I didn't have enough glue up here in the corner. And then I have this other butterfly that I'm going to add down here at the bottom. And there's no rhyme or reason to this, because when I cut these apart, it's just going to be very random. So then some of these rub-ons have this really abstract, like mixed media, paint splattery kind of feel to them. You can see here. So I'm just picking a place. I'm going to rub that down and go through the same process, and just making sure everything is really burnished down well before I peel up that that backer sheet. And so if you do it real slow, you can kind of see if it's not coming up all the way, then you can just burnish it down again. It's easier to do that than to try to pull the whole thing and then put it back, if that makes sense. So just kind of do it gradually and check as you go. And you can always, just keep burnishing until you have everything down the way that you want to. And I'm trying to use some different color values for the teal and green that this set of rub-ons. I actually really, really love the rub-ons from 49 in Market. So they show up a lot in my junk journals. They're just a good way to add color without having to, like I said, add a bunch of paint and get all of that kind of stuff out. So there were some that even looked very mixed media, just distressed and grungy. And so I'm adding some of those here as well. I had this one paper that didn't have any writing or words or anything on it. So I made sure to put some of these rub-ons there. And then I have one of these sheets has like faux stitching. And so I'm going to use some of those on there as well. You can see that's this one right here, just going around in the different places. And now I'm going to cut this down, and I want to do this blind. I don't want to try to determine where I should cut. So this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm cutting it down the middle first. And so these pieces are going to be 4 inches, and then I'm starting at 3 inches. So I'm going to have 3 pieces here that are 3 inches, and then I'll have a piece that's 2 inches, and then do that to the other side. So I end up with these I will turn into probably some tags, and then these I will use as journaling cards or pockets or tip-ins or whatever, however the mood strikes. But that's how these look. I really love the random effect of this when you kind of just cut it blind without really like trying to make sure this piece is here or there. You end up with better results, in my opinion, if you do it that way. So this is the journal that these are going to go in, just so you can kind of see. I was trying to keep within that color scheme. So anyway, if you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.